Welcome back to some more living as we go to Charleston, South Carolina. Stop number 5 on our 5.5-week journey from Oklahoma, Tennessee, North and South Carolina, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, and back home again. So we left our one-night stop that was in Kennard, South Carolina, and headed to Charleston, South Carolina. It was about a 230-mile drive for us that day. There's just nothing to be said but beauty for North and South Carolina. The trip was absolutely amazing. So anyway, on our journey this time, we will see, we took a city tour, we went to a plantation, went to Fort Sumter, ate some local food, and we just really enjoyed the campground that we were at as well. So let's get started. We stayed at the KOA in Mount Pleasant, which is just a little bit north of downtown Charleston. Probably a 20-minute drive. Wasn't bad at all. Anyway, it was a beautiful campground. We stayed in B14, which was a back-end site, and it backed up to a stream, and so we didn't have anyone behind us. It was very quiet. The sites were a little close together, but they weren't bad, just what you could expect. So there's a picture of our site. As you can see, they had some really cool cabins that you could rent. One that looked like a train, and then others that were just plain cabins. But they had this rec hall that you could, that had tables in it and little kitchen areas where you could cook for the cabins that didn't have kitchens in there. And then they had really nice bathhouses and showers. They had ice. You could rent bicycles. We did see people driving around bicycles, so that was kind of cool. They had a really cool playground for the kids and a pool. And again, this is now the second KOA that had really nice tent sites that had tables and little kitchen areas and grills. The best thing I think about the campground was the lake. It had a very nice lake. I don't even know how big it was, but there were fish in it. Mitch would go over in the evenings and do some fishing, and they had swings all around it that you could just sit and swing and watch the lake. So that was really kind of fun. So the first day we did a city tour. The architecture in Charleston is just beautiful, and unfortunately I lost a lot of my pictures that I took this day, but we also ate at a seafood restaurant. We went downtown to a little market. We did get to drive through anyway, the Citadel, which was really kind of cool, and they had the big class ring. I guess the person that owns Justin's actually graduated from the Citadel. So on the second day, we went to the Boone Hall Plantation. It was very good. We got there in the morning. I'd recommend getting there in the morning and allowing a little more than a half a day. We actually ate lunch there, and then we had to leave because we had tickets to Fort Sumter, but we could have spent a little bit longer. Definitely go to the Gula show. That was well worth it. But we had to kind of quickly go through it. We missed a few of the things, but it was just a really well done tour. definitely take the ride that you take around the plantation. It's actually a working plantation, and they have a lot of crops, and it was a very informative tour, so I highly recommend that tour. I would definitely take it. Then in the afternoon, we went to Fort Sumter, which was it was just about 3 to 4 hours. It was about an hour out there, 45 minutes to an hour out to the site, and then you had about an hour to tour it, and then it was about another 45 minutes back. It was good. If you'd never been to a small, I was amazed at how small it was. If you've never been to one of the Civil War forts like that, it was definitely good to go. We did later go to St. Augustine in Florida, and we skipped the tour of that fort because they basically looked very similar. So day 2 was a lot of fun. Definitely check out the Boone Hall Plantation. And no trip, if you go to the coast, would be complete without a visit to the ocean.
Well, you got to bring your own umbrella, don't we?
Oh, we made it to the ocean.
On the last day, we found a little restaurant in Charleston to have shrimp and grits. Mitch wasn't as daring, had the pork chops, but it was a shrimp, a dule sausage, and ham and grits in a cream sauce. It was amazing. Didn't think I'd like it. Not a real grits fan, but this was absolutely amazing. Also found me a new hat. Those of you that know me, I love my hats. So found me a new hat while I was in Charleston, and we just had a great time. And luckily, the weather was perfect. It wasn't too hot. We didn't get there when it was steamy and muggy like we've heard that South Carolina can be. So it was a great time. So stick around as we head south to Jacksonville in our next episode.